Moses receives God's laws. You will be my treasured possession. 3 months after the Israelites had left Egypt, they came to the sacred mountain of Sinai, where the Lord had appeared to Moses in a burning bush many years before. And the Lord called to him now from the top of the mountain, and Moses went up to meet him. The Lord gave Moses a message saying, "You have seen what I did in Egypt and how I carried you here on eagle's wings. If you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then, out of all the nations, you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." Moses went down and summoned the elders, telling them what God had said. Mount Sinai. The holy mountain of Sinai is where God gives Moses the 10 Commandments. It is thought to be the mountain Jebel Musa, or Mountain of Moses, in the South Sinai Peninsula in modern-day Egypt. The red granite mountain stands 7,500 feet, or 2,300 meters in height. Aaron. In this illumination from an 18th century Hebrew Bible, Aaron is depicted as the first high priest. God selects Aaron and his sons to lead the rituals of worship and sacrifice on his behalf. Aaron was the forefather of the Israelite priesthood. Then the Lord called Moses to him again and said that in 3 days' time he would come down from the heavens in a thick cloud and speak to him in front of all the Israelites. 3 days later, the sky suddenly darkened. Peals of thunder crashed high above and lightning flashed from the heavens. A deafening trumpet blast ripped through the air. The people huddled together in terror, but Moses went to them and led them to the bottom of the mountain. From the middle of the cloud of smoke, the Lord spoke to Moses and told him to come up with his brother, Aaron. Before he went, Moses said to the Israelites, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning." Then the 2 brothers climbed higher and higher into the thick cloud where God was waiting. He said to them, "I am the Lord your God, and these are my commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not bow down to idols or worship them. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house or his wife or his belongings." When he had finished, the Lord told them to go down and to make an altar at the bottom of the mountain. He went on to give them some more laws and said that an angel would go with the Israelites on their journey to the promised land. Moses and Aaron went back down to their people who had been waiting and repeated the Lord's words. "Everything that the Lord has said, we will do," said the people. So Moses wrote all the Lord's words down in the book of the covenant. Just a little disclaimer. Page 78 ends on the words Book of the Covenant. On page 79, it looks like it starts in the beginning or the middle of a sentence. And so I'm going to read what's just on the page. It doesn't seem to connect to page 78, but I'll read what's there. 12 tribes of Israel, and they made burnt offerings to God. The best young bulls were sacrificed, and Moses sprinkled some of the blood on the altar and some over the people, saying, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all his words." Then Moses and Aaron went up the mountain again. This time they took with them Aaron's 2 sons, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the Israelite leaders. When they reached the top, God was waiting for them, standing on a beautiful sapphire floor. And God said to Moses, "Come here, and I will give you tablets of stone with the laws and commands I have given you written on them." And Moses went into the cloud and stayed on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Sefer Torah. The distinctive crown shape symbolizes the ruling power of the law. The scroll is sewn onto 2 wooden rollers, making it easier to read. Understanding the story. For the creation, God creates order from chaos using 10 commands, and here God gives order to Israel with the 10 commandments. God's speech takes the same form as an ancient royal treaty. First, there is an introduction identifying the king. Then a historical section follows before the terms are set. The Book of the Covenant is the Constitution of Israel, establishing how people should relate to God and each other. "I am the Lord your God, and these are my commandments." Code of law. Handwritten scrolls that proclaim God's commands became codes of law for people to read and live by. The Sefer Torah scroll is used in the ritual of Torah reading at Jerusalem's main synagogue, Heichal Shlomo.